throughout the nation and around the globe. From his heart to yours, it's Dearjames Live, bringing you intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions.
Hello, beautiful soul family. Welcome to Weekly Wisdom and Insights, your home for spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. I am your host, Dearjames, and together with the unseen, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, we look at current energies and incorporate your questions and comments live throughout the broadcast. So welcome, welcome, welcome. And a little bit of action-packed activity. We have an interesting theme all about I am, the very powerful, powerful mantra, and you'll see that here in a minute, that about I am and how it's realized clarity and opportunity, and ultimately with that, empowerment. So that is what we do here at Weekly Wisdom and Insights, spiritually guided transformation and empowerment. And that's what's on tap. And we're looking at these next 2 weeks. This week is February 15th. It's the day after Valentine's Day. So around the world, much love to everyone. And because it's, of course, the basis, right? Love is the basis, the root of all. And then we're also looking at next week at 222. It's a 222. There's some transition going on and advancement and all of these good things. So as we all walk through these energies, we're going to be looking at the numbers and the signs and the synchronicities and the empowerment of these numbers in these 2 weeks. Because as we approach the end of February and certainly into the 23rd of March, the 23rd of March is when Pluto ingresses into Aquarius, first time since 1777. We've been talking about this. Right now, before that happens, right now, Pluto is sitting at the ANARETIC degree. It's the 29th degree, and that amplifies everything. And you will see how I'm going to discuss this ANARETIC degree more, but you'll see how, I don't know about you all, but there has been, and it's the first thing they gave me, was this push-pull. There's a lot of push-pull energy. It's like your foot is on the gas and the brake at the same time. You're advancing, and yet it's like when somebody's constantly tapping the brakes. For me, it makes me, I get motion sickness pretty easily. So that can be very unsettling, disturbing, unsettling. Let me know how this is resonating with you. But there's these push-pull energies. And they were talking about the nature of growth and the experience of growth. And so these push-pull energies, we're feeling it energetically, cosmically, individually, collectively. You can feel it. And it's just this, it's like a yo-yo effect. It can be destabilizing. It can feel overwhelming, destabilizing, and yet invigorating, right? Because there is forward movement, forward advance. However, it is a push-pull. This Pluto, we're leaving the past behind. And so we are really being, and it's like, so leaving it behind is like saying, did I pack him? Say you're moving, or say you're going on a trip or something like that. It's an easy analogy. It's that last minute checklist of, is everything out? Have I transferred all the utilities and the services? Has the place been cleaned? If you're going on a trip, it's like, have I packed everything? Do I have everything I need to embark on this next journey, this next adventure, to move to this new place? And so there's this kind of push-pull energy of advance, and then looking back to ensure that I have everything I need. Did I bring everything that I need with me? Did I cleanse out, clear out? Did I release all that which I don't need, all that's not necessary to come along? Because of course, you go on a trip, you don't take everything with you. You take what you need. And so that's how that is these current energies. And so as you're joining live, as we always say, please place in the comments that you're here, say hello, where you're joining from. And as throughout the broadcast, incorporate your comments and questions so that we'll see how the energies are playing with everyone. So we have right off the bat, let's just go to the top of the With these current energies, we have the main energies, and the main energies are, and again, this is from 215 to 222 through 222. Good morning, Lorna, sorry. So throughout the month of February is the two energies, which is the receptive. And good morning, Brenda. Good afternoon from Cape Coral, Florida. So we also then have the 15, and the receptive is the divine feminine. So remember, we have this really beautiful moving into 2023 and beyond. It's all about the return. It's really from 2022 forward. It's the return of the divine feminine. And the more we move into it, the greater, the more prevalent, the more present she becomes. And all of us have it. Doesn't matter, masculine, feminine. It is about bringing back the harmony and the balance of the divine feminine and bringing her to her rightful place within us and externally. And from, as with the energies of 15, authenticity, this balance. It is about being in harmony, in balance. Now, you'll see on your screen right now, you'll see hexagrams, the numbers 24, 13, and 31. These are playing out this week and next week. What they have in common, and let me just say, 24 is about return, go back. So Pluto, 29 degrees. Come March 23rd, it's going to go back to where it's going to return. It's going to go back to where it was 200 plus years ago, 1777. So you can see, and then the 13 is about fellowship and how we socialize, how we come together, network, socialize, help one another, fellowship. And then 31 is about influence and wooing. I mean, wooing can be how we woo someone or something. The interesting thing about 24, 13, and 31, as you can see on your screen, all three of those share the same thing, the same hexagram, which is coming to meet, encounter. This coming to meet is about coming to meet our future selves, because we are moving forward. We are releasing the past. We're letting it go. And so what's very interesting about this time, the 29th degree, it's the end of something. It's the culmination point. It's why it's amplified. And so the ending and the beginning of the degrees in astrology are amplified. They're magnified. And I just want to bring up this because we were talking about it. So on the 29th degree, it's known in astrology as the ANARETIC degree. And it says the ANARETIC degree occurs when a planet is at 29 degrees in a sign, which is the last placement of the sign before a planet moves into the next sign. This is a degree of karmic completion. And people with this degree usually appear to be old souls. So in other words, if you have planets in your natal chart at 29 degrees, it signifies, because it's culminating everything that came before it in that degree, in that sign, at 29 degrees. This marks the end of a cycle and is often considered the degree of faith. So imagine we've been going and going and going. Whatever you may have been going through, whatever you are facing, and any challenges, opportunities, obstacles, things like this, we've been facing them. So imagine the whole of the United States as a country. For 200 plus years, not since 1777 has this return occurred, and thereby there's a culmination and there's a crescendo. So imagine that within our own lives, no matter what your age, that you are at this culmination point, this crescendoing point, this mastery point. Because they talk about it, they said, in this area and sign in this lifetime, you've done everything you can, and now your soul just has to wait for the next season to arrive, a la March 23rd. However, while this can feel like a degree of giving up, it's actually the degree of mastery. When the ANARETIC is in your birth chart, this means you have all the tools you need to overcome all challenges of your sign, and there will be a lot. Well, remember, we've been talking about the magician. The magician has everything it needs. Today's theme is I am. Realized clarity and opportunity. I have everything I need. we're at this culmination point, this push-pull moment. It can feel like giving up, like we just can't take it anymore. We so want to get to the next level, the next experience, the outside of the moment, the weight of something. And so there's this giving up aspect, push-pull. And yet it's the degree of faith. It is the degree of mastery. It is that do not give up before the miracles occur. It's hard, it can be laborious, and yet we can just simply lay it all down and say, and realize with great clarity, realized clarity and opportunity, we're right at the precipice. There's the fool, right at the precipice. Remember, let's just bring these two images up here. The fool and the magician. There they are. The magician is on the right. Every tool has everything it needs, has full body, I am presence, full embodiment, full empowerment. It's all about the divine magic. The moon reveals what's been hidden. The moon reveals. It reflects the light of the sun. So it illuminates in the darkness. It is how we see. The stars, the star of Venus, the divine feminine, the return of this moment. And then there's the fool. So at this mastery degree, at this degree of faith, where Pluto's going to move, at this ANARETIC degree of 29 degrees, it's going to shift us. And then we embark, we're on the precipice like the fool. We are ready to take flight. We are ready to shine. And remember, they said that was last week's theme, time to shine, igniting the divine magic within. And it had to do with the magician and the fool. And it's interesting, of course, I'm going to show these again. The fool is number 0. It represents 0. And the magician is number 1. I also always equate the number 8, infinity and so forth, because you can see the symbol over the magician's head. It's an 8 laid on its side. It's a symbol of infinity. And so we have these beautiful opportunities that are we're right on the precipice of this massive change. And yet we're in this push-pull. We're in this ANARETIC degree. We're in this degree of giving up or full faith and trust. And it's not easy. I know, I often say to you, I walk the talk. I'm right there with you, walking this, going as guided, transitioning, moving as I know to go. And I listen and I do it. And so I speak from a place of humbleness and humility and walking the talk with all of you, because it's important. It's important for us all to recognize that in this weekly wisdom and insights, it's a beautiful soul family, and we're in this together, and we come together and we collaborate in this way. So there's 3 items out of the 8 today that are connected together. Item number 2, item number 5, and item number 8. Now, number 8 is the ANARETIC degree, this degree of faith, this ingress that Pluto is going to make into Aquarius. Number 5, I found this so fascinating. So number 5 was round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. Now this was an expression used in carnivals of old, where they would spin the wheel and it was a game of chance or luck. Well, in this instance, it has to do with the world card, I'm sorry. And so I want to bring up here, there are 3 images on your screen. And on the far left, and this is from the Tarot of Mystical Moments by Katrin Weltz-Stein. It's a beautiful tarot deck. What's so exquisite about this? So again, remember, we've got this ANARETIC degree of return, of going somewhere we've been in 1777, and how it launched. It was like the French Revolution, the American Revolution, the ideal. It was the launch and the ideal of America. She's the promise. She's the ideal of something. She was the ideal of a utopia, a perfect way of being, a perfect way of living. And we're coming back to this point. Well, as they said, round and round it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. And so here's the unseen, and it's number 5 on today's list. 5 representing change. And when you see the world card here on the left, and by the way, yes, it's marked card number 21. However, remember the Fool is card 0. So technically in the major arcana of the tarot, there's 22 cards in the major arcana. The world card is really card number 22, this most powerful master number. Next Wednesday is the 22nd. And so you see we're building. Now, what's interesting about this is in this particular tarot deck, the world card, look at it, she's represented like the globe of the earth, of a map, if you will, this map. Where are we going? Directions, divine guidance, how we get from one place to another. The base of her dress is this globe of a map, a world map. You note that with the upcut of it so that you can see the back, the inside back of this globe of this dress, you see that her shoes, she's on point. They gave us this about being on point some shows ago. It's a term that's associated with the ballet and everything, where the performer is on their toe, on their point. And then you see that in her left, she's looking forward left. And there's a great association in biblical and so forth that talks about the new world, the new earth, the new Jerusalem, all things being made new. And that will be ruled with righteousness and a rod of steel. Well, here you see this rod of steel, and you see this new earth. It's large, it's beautiful, it's forward, and it almost looks like a blown glass new earth. And then back over her left shoulder, she's holding a smaller earth, an old earth. So again, person, place, entity, corporation, business, government. Look at who you are forward, the new you, who you most desire to be, who you truly are, soul self, rod of righteousness, this beautiful, or this rod of steel, righteousness, ruled with righteousness, this authenticity, this humility, this grace, this divine goodness, the divine wisdom. That is the representing of the forward left globe of earth. That's you. Then she's almost like, it's a French, in French it's dans la poubelle, it's in the trash. So dans la poubelle, it's this, she's letting go of the past. She's letting go. So again, our analogy of moving or going on a trip, or, we purge, we cleanse, we release that which is no longer. We don't need it anymore. It's served its purpose and we're grateful for it and so forth. However, the world is about this ever-changing cycle. And so I'm going to bring up on the screen here for all of you. I'm going to share my screen here. And it talks about the world, and this is from A Little Spark of Joy. It says the world card, a tarot card meaning. And it says, when the world is at your feet, prepare to have it all. The world card is the final card of the major arcana, or tarot trump sequence, and represents unity and wholeness. It often comes before travel and total fulfillment. So we're talking about travel as examples, travel and total fulfillment, moving on, moving forward. When this card appears in your tarot reading, it means that your highest goals are soon to be achieved and it's time for you to flourish. See, the unseen, spirit, source, and symphony, angels, guides, and so forth, loved ones, they are constantly moving with us and guiding us. And that's where this comes through. It's like there is this, and the world card often comes before travel and total fulfillment. When this card, and it talks about it's a time to flourish. And it says, before diving deeper into the upright and reversed card, we're only going to deal with the upright. The upright about this is fulfillment, harmony, completion, integration, travel, unity. Remember, they left us. The key theme last week was unity. And it's talking about here that the world card shows a woman. So I'm going to show you the image of the Rider-Waite image of the world card. And so you can see the difference between the one I'm showing you and the one that is here, that's the original. But it talks about the world card shows a woman wrapped in a purple scarf that covers her pelvis and flaps behind her shoulders and below her feet. She is dancing inside a wreath holding batons in each hand, symbolizing balance and evolution in movement, fluidity, constant, beautiful movement. So here's the image I want to bring up so you can see her. And note the green. Remember from last week, green. Note unity. Note this movement, this grand fulfillment of things. It says the accomplishment and unity that she represents is not one that is static, but ever-changing, dynamic, and eternal. It marks either an end or a beginning and a change from one place to another, a journey. The flow goes on and it never stops. The infinity of this cycle, remember the magician, the infinity symbol, the infinity of this cycle is also emphasized by the green wreath and the red ribbon on top. In addition, the wreath is a symbol of success and accomplishment. Remember, they gave us this from last week. I'm pulling up on the screen. Green, the beauty of abundance, the power of source. This rolling, just verdant green meadow landscape. Rich, rich, rich with opportunity, with abundance, with greatness. And this is, again, where we're headed, where we are, really. And so it says, the four figures in the clouds are the same as those on the Wheel of Fortune. They serve as the four fixed signs of the zodiac, Scorpio, Leo, Aquarius, and Taurus. And they represent the four corners of the universe, the four elements, and the four evangelicals. Together, they symbolize the harmony between all their energies, and they will bring balance to your journey from one phase to another. The absence of any solid ground on a tarot card named the World might seem ironic, but the illustration actually represents the feeling that you get when you have conquered your world. And remember, we're going on a journey, we're embarking. The Fool steps off of the earth, it stops off of a solid ground to be caught and supported by the unseen. And so this is where many people in this moment are transitioning. They may be leaving this life, literally, for the afterlife, for a new life. They also may be leaving as in terms of relationships, jobs, locations, a lot of movement, a lot of push-pull, moving forward, releasing the old, making sure we've released everything we need to, and then the moving forward. To encounter the upright world card, which we did in a tarot reading in this weekly Wisdom and Insights, is to encounter success and accomplishment. It means that a long-term project, period of study, or any other major event in your life has come full circle and that you accomplished your goals and aspirations. Despite the difficulties and hardships you've encountered, you stood strong and persevered. Remember this 29th degree, this degree of faith, or this giving up. Well, you stood strong and you persevered. That is what you're doing. You will get to the other side. You will get to the rewards, to the miracle. You just have to, take that little bit longer step. The seeds you have planted are now blooming, and you are reaping the fruit of your labor. Everything has come together, and you are in the right place, doing the right thing, achieving what you have envisioned. So this is all about divine time, divine timing, divine time, right place, right moment, not second guessing yourself, not giving up, and realizing that as you continue to take each step, the future you, the future itself, the present future, will continue to rise up and meet you. The unseen, spirit, source, and symphony, they will continue to rise up and meet you, guide you, carry you. It's footprints in the sand, that beautiful poem. It's also a song. I got her name just came in and popped back out. Leona Lewis, that, that we're being carried even when we can't see it, even when we may not realize it. We are being carried, footprints in the sand. And thereby, you'll see how this culminates in the fact that they always have our back. They're always with us. Ian is saying, hello, everyone. Sorry I'm late. Been listening and am fascinated by what you're saying. This is so on for me. Wow. And Lorna is saying, me too. Yeah, this is what I love about Weekly Wisdom and Insights and the unseen and the tapestry, the golden threads of the unseen, and how everyone that shows up, everything's purposeful. And so as we all show up, it's so well stitched, fabricated, brought together, woven. It's the master weaver. And so let me jump to this our mantra, because I'm going to bring this up, and I will put this in the show threads as I do. Really, these next 2 weeks, really from here on out, but these next 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, this mantra of I am. When you go to sleep, any point throughout your day, when you wake up, and just start with I am beautiful. I am happy. I am well. I am abundant. I am loved. And you can see, just keep adding. You can repeat them in the moment. If there's I am joyful. I am full of bliss. These are going to be very powerful, and they're going to be very transitional for you. Because as we're moving to this March 23rd transition date, and certainly this last degree, these last weeks, into on Sunday, I believe the sun moves into the last sign astrologically, Pisces. So the sun will move into the last sign of the zodiac, the astrological year. That's coming up on Sunday. And so again, by this latter March, the 21st, 22nd of March, then the 23rd, the sun moves into Aries, the first sign. Pluto is moving into the 0 degree of Aquarius, this whole new era. And so you can see these monumental shifts, these changes, and this I am energy is going to connect you with your divine soul source connection, your divine self, your soul self. And it's going to keep fortifying you, nourishing you. And so it's really important, because the second thing that's tied together here is, they said, transitioning from, quote, the depths to a higher octave of being. And remember, an octave is 8. It's 8 degrees, or 8 notes. And so we're going up an octave. So we're transitioning from the depths. So again, remember with the America as the ideal, as the example, and and imagine our lives. We come through the birth canal. We are born sparkly, shiny new. Here we are. And then, layer upon layer, experience upon experience, and so forth. We kind of experience the depths of things. Well, here they're talking about, and it's number 2. Remember, it's unity. It's this divine unity. And with 3, 2, 2, 2. It's all the twos. It's the Trinity. So they're coming together. There's this, however, the divine masculine, divine feminine, 2. Transitioning from the depths to a higher octave of being raised up, ready to shine, ready to experience the new. Well, like the image, I'm going to go back to her because we hadn't finished with the the image of the World card, the Fool, and the Magician from the Tarot of Mystical Moments deck. You can see that we're being renewed. Now, if you'll notice in this deck on your screen, in each one of them, they are represented by the feminine, by the female aspect. And there's something really beautiful. The original, of course, is the world is yet still represented by the divine feminine. The Fool is represented by the divine masculine, as is the Magician. So there's a beauty here where this particular deck has been created in a forward manner that says, look at the age of Aquarius, look at matriarchal rule, the harmony and balance, look at the return of the divine feminine for all of us. Because again, it doesn't matter whether you can be feminine and have very heavy-handed masculine attributes. You can be male, masculine, and lead with masculine traits. There's these things where we need to, or vice versa, you're leading with too much feminine and you need to come back into harmony and balance. This is all about whether masculine, feminine, gender neutral, whatever it may be for you. The opportunity and the aspects here is that we are bringing back the divine feminine into her rightful place, which means harmony, balance, nourishment. And in these cards, you see this. And in the Fool card in this aspect, she has, remember, they gave us the bluebirds. Again, a couple shows back, in her right hand, she has a bluebird perched on her hand. She has the alligator, the crocodile, the alligator. And remember, from ancient Egypt, they're revered. This is of the gods. This is life-giving. And there she stands upon, so again, in that way, she stands upon the unseen. She stands upon with source. The blossom of the tail, you see this yellow, like flower blossom. It's almost like a divine light. And it's with her, it's over her. And she's like, here we are, this divine light shining with you, guiding you, this divine light. And then look to the far right in the Magician. The hat is her temple. You see the cross in the window. It's represented, and there's this divine hand, divine feminine hand holding up the upright, it's a top hat in essence. And that same light is at the end of her wand. And remember, it's from last week, time to shine, igniting the divine magic within. Here we're talking about transitioning from the depths to a higher octave. This I am, realized clarity and opportunity. So we're in that, a peduncle is what I believe it's called. It's the on a champagne bottle, it's the part where it narrows down. It's the neck of the bottle. And then, of course, once the cork comes out, the champagne moves beyond the peduncle, that narrowed chute, much like the birth canal, and boom, out into the whole new world and out into our new selves we are. This is the moment we're at. This is where we're going to be ready to shine. Why? Because number 4 is about stripping it all down, paring it all back, so as to see clearly, to see, to be. When we've talked about this before, they've given us, blessed are those who believe but do not see. Well, 4 is foundational. So 4 is about stripping it all down, paring it all back. And we've been talking about this for the last, 12, 13, 14 months, about right where you are, pare things down, strip it down, pare it back, purge, cleanse. It's that spring cleaning aspect, or releasing what no longer serves. All of these aspects, so as to see clearly. I am. Realized clarity and opportunity. It's to see our I am lighter selves, our I am presence. We work through all the fears, the shadow elements of letting go, of releasing things. And that can be an object. It can be, everything, people, places, things. All of that requires us to push through our fears. Fear I won't have it again. Fear I won't have enough. Is that fear that it represents something, that it's a label, an identity, something that gives me nourishment or comfort, and yet I know it's a knowing. I know to release it, to let go, so as to realize my I am clarity and opportunity, because we're making space. We're making space for the new. Remember, in this beautiful image, look at her again on the far left of your screen. The world, dans la poubelle. She has the old earth, the old ways, the old mentalities, the shadow aspects. They have been pulled away from, removed from this beautiful new earth, this beautiful new clarity and opportunity and purpose, this new vessel. And she's extracted them, and she's not even looking over her shoulder. She's not even looking back. She just instinctively knows, with great grace and great humility and great reverence and appreciation, but she's releasing the past. Dans la poubelle. She lets it go. Because her focus, her joy, she's got a slight smile on her face, and her eyes, everything is forward, left. She's moving forward. And remember, the right represents, you know what you know until you know. It's what we know. However, we have in English idioms that say it came out of the blue, or it came out of left field. The left represents the unknown. It represents what's not seen. And so it's brought to us. It creates something new because we don't know it. It's out of the blue. It's out of left field. And so, as we're stripping it all down and paring it all back, it's so as to see. And I'm literally doing that. I have literally left where I was. I am in an intermediate moment and state of grace, and of deliverance. And that we had one of you in the soul family. Life, career, home, partnership, giving it all up and moving. There's many of you, Anne and Elizabeth, I know, are embarking, bringing in this new of the divine feminine and bringing in the creative, this creative force, and doing so via the feminine, the receptive force. There's all of this activity happening, and it's really, really beautiful. So, because item number 3 is 222, and there's a jingle that every time I see 222, I say 222, it's for you. 222, we've got works to do. Works, plural. Works, having it all. Remember the world card. You're right at the point of having it all. It shows up when you're going to have it all. And it's like being at the banquet of life. It's the golden ticket. So remember, I'm going to bring this up really quickly. It's about, we've got the golden ticket. Don't be late to the party. Be right on time. New adventure awaits. Because we're exceeding, here's that image, we're exceeding the old. We're exceeding. This is the big tent. This is the carousel, the imagination, the opportunity, this clarity, the high vantage from the balloons, the clouds, these hot air balloons, where you rise above, you have a greater vantage point. You're able to see with greater clarity, which creates greater opportunity because you're exceeding. You've done the stripping it all down and the paring it all back, and the cleansing, the purifying, the releasing. You're doing it. And thereby, we're moving on up. It's the Disney Pixar movie Up. This great opportunity. And the house carried by the balloons, us, your home is literally your vessel, your body, soul, your soul, spirit, heart, mind, everything resides within your vessel, your home, your body. And it's literally being lifted to a higher state of being. Remember, number 2, transitioning from the depths to a higher octave of being. And so this is this exciting energy that's happening right now as we're closing out February, coming into March. But it's really about February, because again, 2 weeks from now is the 2 weeks, Wednesday will be the 29th. So the 15th, 22nd, 29. There's that 29, that anaretic degree. And then all of a sudden, even though we're not yet, we'll still be at 29 degrees. Pluto will still be at 29 degrees Capricorn until the 23rd of March. There's still, you can see this finality. You can see the movement. You can see it's like a relay race where the baton is being handed off. So in all ways in your life, look at where and how you are able to release, to cleanse, to purge, to don la poubelle, and with respect, with love. Don la poubelle is just releasing, it's releasing what no longer serves, so as to be on time, be ready, to travel lightly, to go as guided, to follow your true heart's desire. This came in, and it was very interesting. It was 2 songs back to back. And I instantly heard for number 6, and 6 represents spirit and service. And it's about focusing on spirit and service, knowing that your emotional and monetary needs will automatically be met as a result. So in essence, do the right things for the right reasons, the rest will come. Focus, have that as the purity of your intention, at the forefront of your intention. Because when we do that, the song that came, it's an ADELE song, and the song is Rolling in the Deep. And the song is a breakup song, and yet, so it's an interesting parting from the past. However, what was very interesting, it wasn't about so much the lyrics as it was the meaning behind the song. And it says, as far as the famous song's title, the literal meaning is more obvious than you might think. ADELE informed Rolling Stone that the phrase is, in quotes, an adaptation of a kind of slang slur phrase utilized in the UK called roll deep, which means to have someone, always have someone that has your back. And you're never on your own. If you're ever in trouble, you've always got someone who's going to come and help you fight it out or whatever like that. And that's how I felt in the relationship that the record's about, especially Rolling in the Deep. That's how I felt, I thought that's what I was always going to have, and it didn't end up being the case. However, the beauty, the importance of this, and why the unseen gave this to us, is to identify and to make clear that Spirit, Source, and Symphony, the unseen, the master weaver, the host, is rolling in the deep, roll deep, will always have your back, is ever present, omnipotent, omniscient, omni. And to trust that 29th degree, that degree of faith, to not give up. Do not give up on yourself. Do not give up on Source, Spirit, Source, and Symphony, the unseen. Do not give up on your knowing, your soul source connection, because it, unlike ego, mind, personality, unlike someone externally that may not have your back, push come to shove and so forth, the one connection you will always have, and that will always have your back and guide you true north, is your soul source connection, Source. It's unquestionable. It's beyond reproach. It's just a fact. It's a fait accompli. So they brought this song, and then right behind it, which was quite funny, they magnified this point, if you will, or doubled down, and you're going to see how that phrase is in here, doubling down. It's a fun song. I think this is from the 80s, maybe the 90s. It's Rick Astley never going to give you up. And it says, in essence, the lyrics say, we're no strangers to love. You know the rules, and so do I. A full commitment, what I'm thinking of. You wouldn't get this from any other guy. I just want to tell you how I'm feeling. Got to make you understand. Never going to give you up. Never going to let you down. Never going to run around and desert you. Never going to make you cry. Never going to say goodbye. Never going to tell a lie and hurt you. So, from this place of source, this is what's on offer. This is the relationship we are all in from start to finish that continues. It never ends. But in our incarnation, we come in with it, we have it our entire time, and we exit with it. And it's this kind of commitment. And so we can then utilize this kind of love, this kind of commitment, this kind of understanding in what we offer and certainly what we expect, that we show up. And this is the authenticity. This is the humility. This is the depth of character. This is the courage and the strength. This is the I am presence that we operate with and from. And thereby, when someone comes to mirror that with us, it's perfect. It's two wholes making a greater whole. It's not someone completing us, if you will. We're already whole and complete. And we come together to magnify and amplify that. Time to shine. Time to put it all forward. So these are the two songs of the commitment. And lastly, they talked about this. It's number 7. And I'm going to bring it up here on the screen. And they said it's a quote. And they said, be the opportunity you wish to create. And so what that means is be in alignment with, be the opportunity. Live it, breathe it, be it. I am. I am opportunity. I am the creative force. I am the receptive force. I am the miracle. I am a miracle. However you wish to utilize this power, and you note that this came from Source, they provided this quote, and they said, be the opportunity you wish to create. And with that, they said, step up, step out, time to shine, time to double down. And what was so interesting about this double down is it talks about the definition of the term or the phrase double down. It says to strengthen one's commitment to a particular strategy or course of action, typically one that is potentially risky. Now, one can say that I would say a lot of people would consider trusting their soul source connection, trusting the unseen, is quote unquote risky. However, I go back to blessed are those who believe but do not see. That is trusting the unknown. That is trusting your soul. You may call it your gut, your instinct, your intuition. I go Dearjames and intuitive. There's trusting that inner empowerment, that soul source connection, knowing that you're bypassing anything that might be mental chatter, ego, mind, personality. We bypass it so that our soul empowers us. We move beyond. We get what comes in from out of left field because we're moving beyond. We're expanding, exceeding beyond the limitations of the ego, mind, personality. The ego, mind, personality, it wants to keep us safe. It utilizes our past experiences to keep us safe. However, it's not always about staying safe, playing it safe. It is about exceeding in responsible ways, soul-guided ways, exceeding. Not exceeding from a state of exacerbating your mind, your ego, your personality, That's just heaping on more that can be a shadow aspect. The soul is going to guide you purely, true north. It's going to guide you highest and best. It always will. And so it's a doubling down of this aspect. And then the second definition is also double a bet after seeing one's initial cards, with the requirement that one additional card be drawn. So again, like in blackjack and poker, blackjack, there's an interesting thing. So you see the hands in your card, you see the cards in your hand, and you double down. You double the bet because you believe that what's in your hand is so good. It comes, though, with the unknown, with that card that will come in from out of left field, because you have to take one additional card. And so, again, there's a sense of full faith and trust. There's a sense of truly listening to your soul source connection, to go as guided, to take the steps, even when, they're giving me the example. I've been with my family and so forth, and they said to me, and we have such a beautiful relationship, and there's great nourishment, great comfort. It's that saying of like, what's not to love? It's wonderful, it's easy, it's comfortable, it's nourishing and nurturing and so forth. And they said, it's because it's that you must go. You must leave that and take this next step. Because otherwise, what we're doing, what I'm doing, and the example I'm sharing with you, is playing it safe. I'm staying safe. That means that I and they will not grow, or it can become stale. It's hexagram 18, repairing what's spoiled, because you're meant to continue to evolve, continue to move forward, continue to exceed, continue to expand, so as to transition from the depths to a higher octave of being. And the depths, it doesn't mean that that's a negative. It certainly wasn't. It just means continue taking the steps to see where your soul is leading you, because you've been somewhere for whatever moment of time. You've been that already. And it's time to, with great reverence and gratitude and so forth, release it, clear space, strip it all down, pare it all back, so as to see clearly, because we're right at that degree of receiving miracles, of having it all, the world at your feet. And so we're to do so knowing, rolling in the deep, that UK phrase, slang term, that we've got spirit, source, symphony, the unseen, angels, guides, loved ones. We've got them at our back. They've got our back, and never going to give you up. They're never going to give us up. And it's the opportunity, because we get to be the opportunity we wish to create. That is the moral of this story. It's a transition time. I may or may not be back with you next week. We'll see how it goes. If not, I will definitely be back with you on the 29th, because again, we're closing out this, the 29, and the 29 is an 11. And that 11, as you know, is the most it's the most intuitive master number. And it's a gateway. When you look at 2 1s, it's a way to, it's a way through. And so just know, what they're saying to me in this moment is, just know that these next weeks, this kind of ending of February, launching of March, these big transitions coming up, they are a gateway. They are a pivotal, it's a pivotal moment on our path. It is a pivotal moment to make deep, conscientious decisions. Make them from a place of purity, of grace, of joy, of intrigue, of excitement, and where there might be a little bit of anxiety, fear, I say a little, I don't usually sugarcoat it, so I'm just laughing because it can be great, anxiety or great trepidation or whatever. However, all you need to do is come back and say, I am, I am, I am, to get yourself centered. And then listen. And whatever that knowing is that comes, it's a knowing. It's not your mind. It's not monkey mind chatter. It's not fear, yak, yak, yak. It's not mental. It will be a knowing. And because it's a knowing, you'll know, like the hermit, let's just bring in like the fool, you'll know to take the next step. You'll know to keep bridging this moment, is the way they're saying it to me. Keep bridging this moment until the world card, because round and round it goes, where it stops, nobody knows. It's coming in out of left field. What you know to do is take this step, that step, take the necessary steps. Keep taking the next step until you find that having taken all of these bridge steps, you've arrived somewhere that unexpected. You've arrived somewhere divine, unknown, and it will have expanded you. It will continue to flower and develop and grow because it's the next iteration. It's the next evolution. It's the next incarnation of you within this incarnation. It's all of those things combined into one. It is the next opportunity. And you have created it because you are the opportunity you wish to create. You are literally in alignment with it, manifesting it, co-creating, co-weaving. And by being the guest, you allow the host to lead. By listening to your soul, you are allowing the host to lead. And that host has your back. Always will, always has. It's just the way it is. So I love you all. I am so excited to see where this all goes, where it all leads us. You are an incredible, incredible, incredible soul family. Your comments, your presence, your participation is always, as Ian stated, this is so on for me. Wow. It is exactly that. You all bring this to life. You affirm it. You confirm it. And I just want to go back to the world card before we close out the hour, because they all deserve their due. And here is this beautiful new earth, new you, new us, the new on offer. Righteousness, rod of steel, looking forward, coming out of left field. And yet, look how just glorious it is. The magic of that card. We're leaving the past behind with reverence and grace and gratitude. Always with reverence, grace, and gratitude. Namaste. I thank you for showing up. I thank you for being everything I needed to know, learn, experience, so as to be, quote unquote, on point, so as to look forward, claim my present future self, knowing with the Fool in the middle that I'm standing on source, upon source, with source, that which is revered. I have all of the opportunity, all of the, bluebirds over the rainbow, bluebirds sing. I have the hope, the opportunity, the magic. I have the light over my shoulder. And with the magician, I have everything I need. I have all the divine magic within. It's all self-contained. The butterfly, I'm flying. I'm no longer a caterpillar. I'm flying. I'm renewed. And this is this moment. This is this magical moment. So go forth, everyone, and conquer. Thank you all so much. so much for being here and being a part of Weekly Wisdom and Insight. And we will either see you next week or we will definitely see you on the 29th. Stay tuned in on the announcements and notifications, and we're just playing it by ear. We're taking it step by step.
You've been listening to Dearjames Live. Gain intuitive insight, answers, and advice to your life questions and so much more by tuning in next week and visiting dearjames.com.